HOA Karen mocked elderly vet didn't know we're both Navy SEALs with history. The diner was a relic of small-town America, its checkered floor scuffed by decades of boots and dreams. Sunlight poured through the windows, glinting off coffee mugs and the weathered face of Tom Hargrove, a 68-year-old Navy SEAL veteran. His hands, gnarled but steady, cradled a steaming cup as he sat alone, staring at a faded photo tucked in his wallet. It showed two young SEALs, grinning under desert skies. Tom and his old teammate, Jack "Hawk" Ramsey. That was decades ago, before life and war tore them apart. Across the room, Karen Mitchell, the HOA president, held court with her usual crowd. Her voice, sharp as a razor, cut through the diner's hum. "That old man's a fraud," she sneered, gesturing at Tom. "Always wearing that Navy cap, acting like some war hero. Probably never left the stateside base." Her friends chuckled, egging her on. Tom's jaw tightened, but he stayed silent, his eyes fixed on the photo. Karen didn't know. She couldn't know, but someone else did. Jack Ramsey, now 45, pushed through the diner's door, his face etched with scars from a bomb blast in Fallujah. He'd heard Karen's voice from outside, and it stopped him cold. Jack hadn't seen Tom in years, not since their last mission, when a split-second decision fractured their bond. Jack had chosen to save a civilian, defying orders, while Tom followed protocol, costing their team dearly. They'd parted as strangers, haunted by guilt and unspoken words. Now fate had dragged them back together. Karen's taunts grew louder. "Look at him, pretending he's something special. I bet he's just a janitor who stole that cap." The diner fell quiet, all eyes on Tom. Jack's fists clenched. He stepped forward, his boots heavy on the floor. "Karen, you don't know what you're talking about," he said, his voice low, dangerous. Karen spun around, her smirk faltering. "Oh, and who are you? His fan club?" she mocked, oblivious to the storm brewing. Tom's head snapped up, his eyes locking with Jack's. Recognition hit like a grenade. "Hawk?" he whispered, voice cracking. Jack nodded, his throat tight. "Tom." The air thickened, charged with years of unresolved pain. Karen, sensing she'd lost control, doubled down. "What, you're both in on this act? Two old men playing soldier?" She laughed, but it was brittle, her confidence cracking as the diner's patrons leaned in, sensing something bigger. Jack's voice cut through her words like a blade. "We're not playing, Karen. Tom and I served together. Navy SEALs. Real ones. We've got history you couldn't dream of." He pulled a worn dog tag from his pocket, tossing it onto the table. It landed with a clink, engraved with their unit's insignia. Karen's face paled, but she wasn't done. "Prove it," she snapped, crossing her arms. "You're just backing his story." Tom stood, slow and deliberate, his presence commanding despite his age. "You want proof?" he said, his voice steady but laced with fire. He pulled his wallet and slid out a second photo, him and Jack, younger, bloodied but alive, standing over a captured enemy flag. The diner gasped. Karen's mouth opened, then closed. But the real twist was coming, and it wasn't from Tom or Jack. A woman in a wheelchair rolled forward from the corner booth. Martha, the diner's quiet cook, had been listening. Her face was lined with grief, her eyes sharp with memory. "You're both SEALs, all right?" she said, her voice cutting through the tension. "And you both left my brother to die." The room froze. Martha's brother, Danny, had been their teammate, the one caught in the crossfire during that fateful mission. Jack's choice to save a civilian had left Danny exposed. Tom's adherence to orders hadn't saved him either. Martha had carried that loss for years, working in silence, watching the world move on. Jack's face crumpled. "Martha, I didn't know you were here." Tom's hands shook, the photo slipping to the table. "Danny was my friend," Tom said, voice breaking. "I live with that every day." Martha's eyes glistened, but her voice held firm. "You both made choices, and now you're here, fighting over pride while Karen mocks your pain. What's the point?" Karen, now a bystander in her own spectacle, shrank back. The diner's patrons whispered, their judgment shifting not just to her, but to the two men who'd carried their scars in different ways. Jack turned to Tom, his voice raw. "I'm sorry, Tom. I thought I was right back then. I still don't know." Tom met his gaze, eyes heavy with regret. "Neither do I, Hawk. But we're still here. Danny's not." The silence was suffocating. Karen mumbled an apology, her authority dissolved, but no one cared. The real conflict wasn't her, it was the ghosts Tom and Jack carried. the choices that defined them, and the truth Martha had forced them to face. They weren't heroes or villains, just men who'd survived a war that never truly ended. As Jack helped Martha back to the kitchen, Tom sat down, staring at the photo. The diner resumed its hum, but it was different now, weighted with the cost of truth. Karen slipped out, her HOA crown tarnished. Tom and Jack didn't speak again that day, but something had shifted. They'd faced their past, not as enemies, but as brothers bound by loss. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the diner. Tom tucked the photo away, his hand steadier now. Martha's words echoed. What's the point? Maybe it was to keep going, to carry the weight, to honor the fallen by living better. But that was for another day. What do you think, were Tom and Jack right or wrong in their choices, or is the truth too tangled for judgment? Share your thoughts on justice, loyalty, and the cost of survival.